Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going over Fuze. He's a Spetsnaz attacking operator with 3 armor, 1 speed. His primary weapons are his ballistic shield, the 6P41 light machine gun, and the AK-12 assault rifle. He has 2 secondary weapons, the PMM and the GSH-18 handgun. He can have one of 2 gadgets, either 3 breaching charges or 3 stun grenades, and his unique gadget is the APM-6 Matroska, also known as the cluster charge. Jumping right into his weapons, we'll start with his ballistic shield. All it really does is, just like with Montagne and Blitz, nice protective shield for him while he walks around holding either one of his pistols. Not exactly my favorite thing to use with Fuze, but it definitely can come in handy if you decide to go off on your own and find your own area to fuse into. It protects most of his body, leaving mainly his hand with his pistol, his feet if you're standing, unshielded. And if you're crouched and you're moving, the shield is lifted a little bit off of your feet, giving the defenders more area to attack in your feet and leg area. Although it's not my favorite choice with Fuze, I would definitely pair it up with the GSH-18 handgun, as it is a lot more accurate and has more rounds to use. Anyways, we'll get into the GSH a little bit later on. And next up is my personal favorite thing to use with Fuze, the AK-12. It has a damage of 44, a fire rate of 650 rounds, a mobility of 50, and a magazine capacity of 30. 31 if you include the one that could be in the chamber. Its recoil pattern is actually really manageable. It's not bad. It veers up and to the right. You start off about mid chest, you're gonna hit head by after a good couple bursts in. You said let it reset, you could probably aim head high and get those kills right off the bat, no doubt. The AK-12 hits like a truck, and if you're going against a 3-speed, 1-armored operator, you're more than likely going to get that kill pretty quickly. Going against those 3 armored ones, it may take a little longer, but you're more likely to get those kills with how powerful this weapon is alone. Not my favorite weapon, but definitely a fun one to use, the 6P41 light machine gun. It has a damage of 49, a fire rate of 680, mobility of 50, and a capacity of 100 rounds in its magazine, with 101 including the one in the chamber. It definitely doesn't fire as fast as the AK-12, nor is it as strong, but man, you can just lay waste into a room. In my opinion, it's better used for crossfires or suppressing fire, getting over to an area, maybe through that hole that you just fused through, and popping some rounds into that area and through the wall, and just kind of making sure that the defending operators keeping their head down, or maybe they move, putting them into the line of sight of one of your squad mates. Next up, we have the PMM handgun. It has a damage of 63, it's a semi-automatic handgun, mobility of 50, and an 8 magazine capacity, 9 if you include the one in the chamber. Now this pistol hits like a truck. 63 damage on a pistol is insane. The only problem is that you only get 9 rounds max, and it's fairly inaccurate for a pistol. I guess that comes with the damage that you're dealing. It's not something I normally use, but it is nice to use here and there, especially if you are using like the AK-12 or the 6P41. I most definitely wouldn't use it if I was using the shield as Fuze's primary, but it can. You may not win any engagements with it, but you have a chance. If you hit a couple shots on him, you're probably going to down him, at least injure him. And last but not least, my personal choice of handgun, the GSH-18. It has a damage of 33, it's a semi-automatic pistol, 50 mobility, and an 18 round magazine capacity, 19 if you include the one in the chamber. It's an extremely accurate weapon, for a pistol. You get some attachments on there, compensator, flash hider, and you're not going to miss. It's going to land almost the exact same spot. This is the pistol I'll normally use if I'm going to choose Fuze's shield as his primary. The one that I normally carry with me because in any engagement I have a more likely chance of getting around on target versus the PMM that has less rounds in it, so it gives you a higher probability of hitting a target, especially if they're stationary. Peek around a corner real quick, maybe pop off a shot or two, get back, switch over to your primary, you get a reload in there. It helps you feel out a little bit more. You don't have to worry about rounds hitting. It's not going to deal too much damage, but when you hit them and you get most of those rounds in there, especially since they're going to be hitting right around the same spot, you can down somebody pretty easily with the GS-H18. Alright, so we've talked about Fuze's weapons, briefly into his gadgets. So let's take a little bit more time and talk about his gadgets, his breaching charge, his stun grenade, and his cluster charge. So he's got the 3 breach charges, and in my opinion, I like to use it after I fuse into a room. Go breach right into it right after, maybe set up a breach charge a little bit offset. So as soon as you fuse it, you breach on in there, and you make sure that room is 100% clear. For the stun grenades, I like to use those more than the breaching charges because I like to maybe fuse in one area, go off near a door, throw a stun grenade in there as well, and just catch everybody off by surprise. They're now stunned, they can't see, and they may just get hit by those fuse charges. Or even while they're running, maybe throw it in a hallway, let your squad mates know so that when they are peeking through, they turn away, flashbang goes off, fuses are going off, people are running everywhere. Maybe they can catch someone that's running through their line of sight because of your fuse charges. So his cluster charge has 5 grenades each charge. Jaeger's ADS can intercept them, but only up to 2 or 3. I forget the exact number on that. So even going past an ADS, unless that room is riddled with ADS all over the place, you can still get 2 to 3 grenades into that room. You're still getting that chance of hitting some of the defending operators, some of the anchors that may be there. Mute cancels the cluster charge if you put it on a window, door, or wall that is affected by Mute's signal disruptor. So do be careful on those. You can always use Twitch or Thatcher, to get rid of those if you need to. Each grenade bounces, and I swear it's a magnet to hostages, really. I don't know, it doesn't matter where you fuse into a room. If there's a hostage in there, it will hit that hostage. I've also been killed by these fuse charges in another room that they fused in because somehow that one grenade bounced underneath the barricaded door and lands right next to me. Still to this day don't know how in God's name did that happen, but it happens. So even if they fuse away from your room, please be careful. There is a chance that you still might get hit by one stray grenade. Even though his fuse charge gadget is pretty amazing, can't lie, he's still not that viable in the games, especially on ranked. So for that, I would give him, drumroll please, a 7. Just a 7. I think it's not time for good old Fuze to be a main player in matches, but he'll definitely get there. He's got potential. Hopefully soon we'll see him down there playing all those awesome games. You'll see him more in pro leagues. It's just not today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, learned something, maybe picked up a different strategy on how you guys would use Fuze. Don't forget to let me know down below in the comments on what other operator I should review next week. If you guys want to see specific video of reviews for weapons and gadgets, don't hesitate to let me know and I'll start working on them. You guys have a squirrely day.